to our first day of our 2022 budget session. I'll ask members, all members, we're on camera, everybody can see us now, it's not like a Teams meeting. So, budget session.
There we go.
We're good? We're good, perfect. So all members of council are present, and then there's the clerks as well. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda as presented for the first budget working session for the 2022 budget. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by conseiller Brisson, seconded by conseiller.
Ça aurait été plaisant de s'échanger de vive voix et de mieux communiquer nos intentions. En tout cas, définitivement, de notre côté, on est content de pouvoir le faire en personne avec le conseil. I think Mr. Godin, this is my 12th budget, and Mr. Godin really took over this one. He's taking care of a lot of things, so he might be leading all the discussions today. But I think we've prepared a very responsible budget that I think to the first look is appealing to council. And we've tried to address as many issues as possible and trying to advance our services as best as possible. So we're looking forward today to tomorrow to speak with you and answer your questions about the budget. And certainly looking for
increasing taxation revenues from just under $1 million per year over the last 4 years.
En considération cette augmentation-là.
Monsieur Godin?
Oui, très bonne question.
Trying to do for the last at least 3 years.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Donc, pour continuer, si on parle de justement l'implication sur une maison avec l'évaluation moyenne, donc selon nos données avec Impact, en 2022, l'évaluation moyenne dans Russell Township, c'est de 346 000 qui veut dire qu'une augmentation de 2,5 pour une résidence avec cette moyenne-là, ça représente environ 44,53 d'augmentation. Donc, en outre mot, 1% d'augmentation représente environ 17,90 today, but they have to bring it back to the 2016 value, which is what the rest of the population, or the rest of the households are raised on.
Conseiller Brisson?
Pourquoi qu'ils mettent 16 au lieu de mettre 8, ceux-là seraient déjà faits?
Oui, mais ce que ça fait, c'est que ça créerait une variance, ça créerait un écart. I spoke earlier about the impacts reassessments. This is where we're probably going to see a big impact because if, like I said, when evaluations do increase, we have to reduce our tax rate, right? So this tax rate here, assuming that we have a major increase in valuation, our tax rate will decrease. That's true for the rest of the municipalities as well, obviously, but I think being Ottawa's neighbor, we might be feeling those assessment increase more than the rest, which might or may not. It's speculation at this point, but it could widen that gap between ourselves and the bottom 7 as far as the tax rate goes. It does not mean that the actual tax dollar is lower, but just in the next time.
We went PE's Oxford. Been trying to do that for years.
We do collect for the counties, Prescott and Russell, and we also collect for the school boards. Just under half of those invoices actually come to the municipalities for our operations and our capital projects.
Question, conseiller Brisson?
So whenever we were saying like 1% d'augmentation, mais quand on fait 1%, il y a une partie justement qui s'en va aux écoles, ça s'en vient côté de nous autres, de 140 000.
Ouais. Donc, pour répondre à ta question, donc,
Un petit peu. Chez les comtés, ça fait vraiment 12-3%. School board, I have no idea what they're looking at as revenue.
C'est juste, si jamais on a la question, justement, ça va être si.
Oui, exact.
So the next slide or two is just to list a few of the notable variances. For sure, we'll be going service by service, so each department will have a lot more information to share with council. So we've already spoken. These are the additional revenues, $7,000. So we will go into details about how we came up with that number in a short while. And on the payroll side, so we do have a cost of living adjustment of 2% in this first graph, which represents on the taxation side about $109,000.
The council this year, which was agreed to, which will incorporate all the follow-ups from the business plan, from the strategic plan, from business follow-up, from council meeting follow-ups, from department heads follow-ups, from all the different plans, master plans, water, rec, roads. All this will be coming, have been incorporated to a one software database, which will now be able to track per department. Here we have a recognition program for years of service for employees. So this year, there's more employees being recognized. That's why there's an additional $1,900 in that line to honor these expenses. Recommendations. And Public Council will want to see a second dive or a deeper dive in some specific processes or some specific departments. And that's why we're suggesting that we use that efficiency fund of $100,000 to do the second phase level of review. So it may only cost us $50,000, $25,000, $75,000, I don't know what's going to be, depending on how council wants to go in the second level. So how deep you want to dive into any department. So we don't know that report yet and the results of the recommendation. So it's there. So it's got no impact into what should be the proper cost of living adjustment and salaries to staff. It's been a year and a half now, or almost 2 budgets now, that we've not been able to get that resource information from Corn Ferry. So we relied on two databases. One's from the Canadian average data. So from Conference Board of Canada, we were mentioning about the cost of living adjustments. So a 2% increase will represent $170,000 more. And the breakdown of that is at 168 is the 2%. And we still have 8 employees who are under a green circle kind of thing, where we had our previous market study. So we have a few positions that with different position holders that are in this situation where they only get 50% of the cost of living adjustment of the year. So
there's also some payroll that's funded by user fees in the water and sewer department, in the building department. So those increases they are budgetary variances for sure. They don't impact taxation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And we're going to slide 26. Council will remember that we went to the market with our group insurance plan that we share with the municipalities across Russell. So there was good news regarding some reducing cost. So over this next renewal period, starting October 1st to September next year. And because, again, from October 22 to December 22, $204 yearly on our side. So this is what the consortium results were. So that's how it's been reflected in those benefit lines in the budgets. So again, COVID had some impacts. You can see some data here. There's no error here. There's no typo. Back in 2020, there had been some proposals from staff to review the working conditions. Now that we're back, and I'm trying to complete this work before I will retire. So this is something that will come in front of council again to see. There might be some proposed changes to the benefits. Also, right now, the new website does not allow us to kind of put forms that you can self-complete online. So that's missing from the website, and that's that's $4,000 extra to implement. So that request has been in the budget for that line. So that's kind of where the additional requests for funding. So that's basically the changes to the IT department.
Christian? No?
And I think we'll come back at the end of the day for capital expenditures.
I believe we're doing it.
But here we can quickly go through this. We see now the report that was presented to council past Monday, the SharePoint software. You can see that project here indicated. The historical plaques, we're again planning for.
So if you do look at the financing for project 140-19-093, which is a computer fleet replacement, so there is $31,000 for the regular replacement of that we have earmarked in case that does happen. For the service efficiency grant, with this budget, is completely spent right now because we did have to allocate 100% of the funds to be able to apply for those additional grants. But we do have some other lines. So if there's no further questions for Mr. Lipp regarding those four departments, we'll now move on to the clerk's office, which we will find in in section 1C. Department 1C.
The same thing for the question on the election ballot for the 2022 municipal elections, so there was no further direction from council on that. And the last point is the provisional fees for the integrity commissioner. Those were reduced from 15,000 to 7,500 in the 2020.
The fact that watch.
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue for a half hour. I plan to take a break at 10:30, and then we'll switch at that point